Aloha and welcome back to Wellness Inside and Out on the Central Coast. Today is a special day. I want to wish you a blessed Memorial Day. I want to thank all the veterans and all the people serving our country. Thank you. Today we're going to talk about freedom and also some really great techniques to help keep our body well. There is freedom in health. When we are healthy, it is easier to combat stress. Life, there's going to be stress, and things happen, and the more we're supported, the more we're nourished, the more we're grounded, the more we are coming from a place of curiosity rather than defense, the more we are able to stay less stressed. So the more energy that we can conserve, the better, because we all know there are things we have no control over. The air that we breathe has toxins in it. The chemicals that are around synthetic perfumes, lotions. Sometimes we might not use any of this, but we go to the store and we have to go down to get our detergent and we're just bombarded with scents. These are all chemicals. And the more that we are aware, the more we can take care of ourselves and support us. So I am so happy to be here on day 3. Looking forward to our live Zoom call. If you have any questions for any of us, please jump on Tuesday at 7 p.m. I would love to share these techniques that I do on a daily basis, and they work for me. Maybe you'd like to try one or all of them. Maybe you're already doing a lot of these things already. God made us all different, thank goodness. So there's otherness in the world, and I'm so grateful we're all different. So what works for one person might not work as great for the other. So just give it a try. And here goes. So the first thing I like to do when I wake up is breathe. I like to do a breath exercise. So I'll lay in bed and I'll put one hand on my belly, making sure that my belly is rising with every inhale. And I will use my nose only, in and out, breathing through my nose, taking advantage of the natural filtration unit of my nose. And as I inhale, I'm counting in my mind 4 seconds. And as I exhale, I'm counting 4 seconds. You can also try holding your exhale, releasing your exhale for 8 seconds, or you can do inhale 8 seconds, exhale 8 seconds. There's so many different ways to do breathing exercises, and you're welcome to look it up. There's so much information on the web. So breath work. And just before my feet hit the ground or as they hit the ground, I give thanks. I am grateful for another day that I'm waking up above ground. So the next thing I do is I drink a big glass of water, room temperature or warm. I stay away from ice cold water or cold water because the cold water is shocking to our system, and it's hard for our body. It's shocking, and it doesn't absorb the water until our body warms it up. So we're taking energy to warm that water up, and it's shocking. So if you can just start your morning off, if you love cold water, which some people do, if you can just start your morning off with that warm water or room temperature, your body will love you for it. And remember, all night that we've been sleeping, our body spends time repairing and healing and detoxifying. So that first thing that touches our palate and enters our body, if it's water, it's going to help purify and cleanse those toxins out that our body worked so hard to move out. Okay, so next, I I love to take some time and educate myself. So if I'm reading a daily devotional, or I'm meditating, or I am reading one of my favorite books, that is so wonderful to spend that time for yourself, to feed yourself that knowledge. I like to do at least 20 minutes a day of movement. So not going up and down a ladder and then sitting or relaxing. I walk 20 minutes consistently, or 20 minutes of yoga. I usually go longer, but oftentimes I will just do 20 minutes because that's all I can do, because I have a full day. So just giving yourself that time to get your heart rate up consistently without stopping is so valuable for the body. We also get that vascular pump moving. When we walk and we do exercise, we have this vascular pump. Every time we walk, we press down into the ground, and that action of our feet hitting the ground flushes and circulates upward. So that's wonderful, the vascular pump. So I like to get at least 8 hours of sleep. At least 7 hours of sleep, but preferably 8 hours of sleep. I also like 9. But if we can, there's studies that show that 8 hours is key. 7 hours, not as good, but it's going to get you through. Some people say, oh, I only need 5 hours of sleep. But there are a lot of studies out there that say 8 hours is divine for the body. Really supportive. Aware of my breath. Going through the day, being aware of the breath, especially when stress comes up, tapping in to the breath. Then, body mechanics. Even if I'm writing my signature, sometimes I realize I'm holding the pencil really hard, and I go, why am I holding it that hard? Or if I'm driving, sometimes we can have a little contraction with our shoulders going up. Just noticing our body mechanics. It's important because our muscles have memory. They build a memory. So we're driving every time and we're holding our shoulders up, even if it's just a tiny contraction. We are teaching and training our muscles to be shorter. And when they get shorter, they're tighter. And when they get tighter, they actually can start yanking on the attachment sites to our bones. And then we can have subluxations in our spine, or more easily injured. God forbid we're in a car accident or we're in yoga and we do too much of a stretch. Things tear much easier when they are not lengthened. So stretching is amazing. Paying attention to our body mechanics, amazing. Stretching is the other one. If we stretch, if we can hold our stretches for about 10 breaths, in and out being one breath, amazing, because it gives our muscles an opportunity to release. So stretching, amazing for the tissue, because we are reminding our muscles what it's like to be lengthened. If we don't stretch, we're just going through life always using our muscles. They will eventually get shorter, and then more likely for injury. And stretching actually should be amazing. It should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, that means you need to do less. Stretching should almost be addictive. You just want to sit in that stretch. You're breathing, your breath is never stifled when we breathe, when we stretch. That's an indicator whether or not we're stretching correctly. The last thing I want to say about stretching is the fascia. It's an amazing dense connective tissue. In a nice long hold, you can actually start to release the fascia, which is powerful. Sometimes people even have emotional releases when they engage the fascia. So nice long holds, and it should feel good. We go through life enough engaging our parasympathetic nervous system, which is take, fight, or flight. We don't need to do that when we're stretching. So enjoy your stretching. And nourishment. I try to eat every 2 hours, if not more often. So supportive to the body. And I actually avoid liquids when I eat, because liquids dilute the digestive juices in our system. So eating 20 minutes away from if you drink water, wait about 15-20 minutes before you eat if you want to have more support for your digestion. And remembering to stay curious. So if you feel attacked, somebody just freaks out on you, it's really common to go to a place of defense. Defense is the first act of war. So if we can just remember to stay curious and that'll help us stay open. Oftentimes people react, and oftentimes they're in a place of fearfulness. And if we can just remember that if they attack us, or if something's going on, somebody's cussing you out when you're on the freeway, we don't know what's going on with them. They're obviously struggling. So giving back some love is worth it for both yourself and the other person. It's not worth wasting our energy. And so remembering to stay curious, because we never really know what's going on for other people. And communication with loved ones, I think it's really valuable to stay connected with people and to give ourselves that time to express. And it's also important to have some quiet time too, maybe in nature, a walk on the beach, whatever feels good. And before I end today, I just want to give a big thank you to Lindia and Lance and Sarah. I love you guys. Thank you for doing this. And I want to invite you at 3 p.m., everybody out there listening, if you'd like to join me and my loved ones, 3 p.m. every day, we take a moment to keep those in heart and mind that are struggling, that are serving, and that are also grieving the loss of loved ones. Just taking a moment to send out a prayer out into this great big world for all those in service and struggling. And 3 p.m., a moment. And I think that does it. Thank you so much. And remember, we are meant to be in touch with our body. If something hurts, reach out, touch your muscle. Don't be afraid of your pain. Go into it rather than try to get rid of it with Tylenol or pain medication. Really listen to your body. And we were made to move, to swim, to walk, to breathe deep. So let us remember that. Take good care and aloha.